Hello everyone, Stefano here. What's up? I'm making this video to tell you what I'm doing here for 3.27. I am going to go down the route of playing Elementalist again, probably a KB or a bow variant, but I'm not sure. I don't want to, commit to anything. I do want to go with the base Ascendancy Elementalist, and I'm kind of here to explain why I think it's a safe pick and why it's going to be a really, really good Ascendancy. Um, the video I want to kind of look at where I'm going to kind of pull the POBs from and show you why I think it's going to be a good build is my final form video. I'm not going to pull
Yo,
up the final form POB. I'm actually going to pull up Red Vile's POB that he created with his Twitch, which is like a budget version. And at the time of end of league, the full build was around 200 to 400 divines for this POB. When you do click into it, it brings you to this. And eventually when you do open it up, it will bring you to this. And the first thing I did is, and I didn't want to do too much of this without you guys, but I put in a note 50% reduced effect of golems. Change the typing, you can see damage is changing. And what this does is it shows you the nerf. We'll show you what the upcoming nerf is. So I put this in the custom modifiers. Boom. We're going to need to drop the shock. Might want to even drop the minus res. And yeah, we're down quite a lot of damage. We went down from 3 million to 1 million. But how are we going to fix this? How are we going to fix this next league? Well, first of all, Elementalist, it can do ignite builds, it can do spell builds, auto bombers, bow builds, and kinetic like wand builds basically. And I don't know if you guys seen Fubgun's new video, but there's a chance that the new kinetic rain is going to be one of the most damage skills in the game. And I love wands, so I do think there's a lot of potential and a lot of room for error if we do go this ascendancy. Furthermore, we built this build around using items. For example, like the gull. Sorry, we were actually at 8 million. I did some changes and I just wanted to kind of get an idea of what I was going to do. But we built around the gull and the solstice vigil, which we're going to eventually be able to change in this league strat. And finally, we have ascendancies that basically do nothing. So all hits ignite does nothing. Bringer of the Rain, lets you, reserve a little bit less mana for Herald skills, but that does nothing. It could do more, I guess is the best way to say it. And then Bastion of Elements, it's a nice defensive layer and reflect immunity, but again, we can, regex. So if I take all these things out, or let's just say I take out two. If I take out the Shaper of the Flames and Bastion of Elements, you can see my damage is the same, but now I have 4 points that can go into a Bloodline Ascendancy. Because the only Ascendancy points I really, really think are mandatory on Elementalist is League of Primordial, which will still give you immune to elemental damage. It will still give you an immortality effect with your golems, and it will still give you +2 effect. Just having them out there as like 4 auras to support you is more than enough for me to want to start this build. So I don't need to worry about, crit chance, accuracy, stuff like that I can get from the golems. All right. So that's why I think this is going to be good for Bloodlines, because the only thing we really need is Legion Primordial. But what can we change in the build to make it stronger? So we can change to the Dark Monarch. Okay? And the Dark Monarch will double the amount of minions. And that gives you a ton more damage from this node, which it says it gives you 10% damage per summoned golem. So the amount of golems you have summoned is going to be more. You can get more damage from that. Then I went and I made an amulet, which is a very basic amulet, and it was accuracy, crit multi, life, and lightning res to make up for the gull. Well, actually, it should have been cold res. I go ahead and change this to cold res. Now we have, decent resistances. We have a little bit more damage. Now what else can we do? Well, before we see the new Ascendancies, we're not sure exactly what we can do. But now, don't forget, our whole build was built around AoE. You can completely change that, and I'm just kind of showing you ways that you can manipulate and modify the POB to kind of get an idea of what you're going to do for next league. But we're going to go craft an item. We're going to go to large. We're going to go to like cluster jewels. We're going to craft a large, medium cluster jewel. Sorry. Again, we're going to go to crit chance. We're going to go pressure points for double damage. And maybe quick, we can maybe go quick getaway. Oh, but I kind of like precise retaliation. But I do understand movement speed is king. All right. We're going to add that to the build. Maybe with some all res. Add that to the build. Boom. Now we're going to go everywhere we have an AoE cluster. We're going to right click it. We're going to change it to our new cluster. Look, we went up 100k damage there. Oh, and we did one problem here. Our medium should be 4 passes. Boom. We're actually at 1.3 million. We're at 1.3 million. We right click this here. We add our new cluster. We have a problem with mana, so I think he has an extra mana in here. This haste, ash, purity of elements, vitality, herald of purities. I have to take this off. Hatred. All right. We drop the haste there. Boom. Again, one more medium cluster. Now we're almost 100% crit chance, by the way. We have a bunch of points, more points we could take. So he's at 4,100 life. You could easily cap your crit here. Maybe grab, the primordial and bring it down here. Now you have 99.34 crit chance on a headhunter build. Again, we don't need AoE. And again, we can also possibly go wander. You possibly cut out a whole cluster, grab the wand wheel, and put 4 crit chances. So the possibilities are endless. And right now we're only playing on 2 ascendancies, and we have 2 full ascendancies that we could take advantage of doing more damage. But besides that, I don't really have more to talk about right now about the build. I do see right now we are playing lightning arrow. I don't think we need any of these points. We can put back into the large medium cluster. Again, but we're back at a kind of similar point. But I do have hopes for this, and this is just lightning arrow, which is a clear skill, but we do have the kinetic rain, we do have the new supports, we do have the new bow skills. And like I said, if all those fail, we have spells, auto bombers, and ignite builds that we can take advantage of. And the only other thing I wanted to say is I saw the list that was going around, which was people's tier list. And in the tier list, I saw Wave of Conviction into Exsanguinate Reap Ignite Elementalist. So you already have a top tier build in the tier list. I don't know much about that build, but you have options with that, and you have options with what we did last league. So I made this video. I hope you like it, and I can't wait to see you next league. And thank you for watching my video, and good luck next league, and I will see you guys later.